Go potato chips. Welcome to today's trade recap. Today's 8/12 Tuesday. I did not take a trade yesterday, so that is why I did not have a trade recap. Price is about to hit all-time highs as I'm recording this. So I took one trade today. It was right here. Again, I don't know how to show my fucking oh, right here. Boom. Okay. So on my evals, which is going to be on TradingView, I went break even, right? My target ended up actually getting hit, and then here is my top step. However, right? So I won on my top step, but I'm going to go over everything on my my TradingView. Okay. So coming into this morning, and I just learned that nothing copy traded on my top step, so only fucking one account made the $400. I'm pissed. So coming into this morning, what do we have? Well, as market opened up, we had a clear accumulation zone, right? So, and I was bullish on the day due to data. Let's just go to the 15-minute. Right, this was 8:30. The data news candle just shot up, created 15-minute equal highs up here. So what I wanted to see is I wanted to see a tap down into here, and then we can possibly go higher, right? So what did we end up getting? Well, we got a tap into this fair value gap, but what did we end up creating? We ended up creating this 15-minute bearish gap. So what did we end up doing? Well, after we accumulated, we manipulated into this 15-minute bearish gap. And let's see what price does. Okay, we're still going up. But then we end up closing beneath it, and we respect this 15-minute gap, right? So from here, we could have had a short opportunity down to data lows, which is going to be right here. But one, I didn't see this trade, and two, now that I look back on it, my stop losses would have been way too fucking high, right? 71-point stop loss. The out would have been a 1-to-1, but I don't feel like risking, because I go in for 1 million, I don't feel like risking $1,400, right? So I stayed out of this, but what ended up presenting itself? This was a trade you could have took. What ended up presenting itself, though? Okay, we're continuing down. Our target is still right here. Our target is still left, untouched. What do we get? Well, we get a 5-minute that opens up, right? And we also had a 15-minute. So clear continuation model. What are we waiting for now? Well, now all I want to see is price hit this 5-minute and then reject out of it. And that's exactly what happened. There was actually a 30-second inversion that happened about right here. I don't have the 30-second chart on TradingView, but there was a 30-second inversion that happened right here, and you could have targeted data lows, which was right here, relatively equal lows with this. And you would have been in this trade for about maybe a minute and 30 seconds, right? As you can see, TP got smacked. Reason I didn't take this trade was I didn't have the 30-second on here, right? If you guys see me click 30 seconds, says I need to upgrade this shit. But no 30-second on TradingView, and by the time I realized there was a 30-second version on my fucking top step, well, it was already too late, right? So from there, whatever, that played out. So both of these, even if you took this short right here, this short played out as well. So now I was still bullish on the day, and that's also part of the reason why I missed this trade, was because I was still kind of like, I would say, married to a bias, right? I was still being very patient, right? I wasn't just forcing a long setup, but I was still being very patient. But what did we end up getting? Well, this hourly fair value gap ended up opening up right here. Yeah, because this is a 10 a.m. candle. So this hourly fair value gap opened up. What do we have with the data lows? Well, we have an SMT. Okay, so I have conviction price is going to go higher. We reject this hourly. Here is what ES looked like. ES had the SMT right here. Okay, we reject this hourly. What do we end up doing? Well, there is a fair value gap right here. So if I want to see longs, I want to see this fair value gap get ran through. What do we end up getting? Got ran through. And then what do we end up creating? Well, we created a 5-minute right here. But what does price end up doing? Let's go to the 1-minute. Price is just chopping around, right? So as price is chopping around, what the hell opens up? We have a 5-minute right here, but what else opens up? Well, now we have a 15-minute, which is going to be this. And I'll make it a different color. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so now we have a 15-minute fair value gap that opens up. So not only do we have the hourly fair value gap that got rejected in the data SMT, well, now we have a 15-minute fair value gap that opened up. Let's make it pink. Okay, and what do we have? Well, we have this perfect accumulation zone right here. So what do I want to see? I'm anticipating now. What is my condition? We actually just talked about this in the beginner's blueprint, and we're going to be going over it again today. The last 2 videos we talked about conditions, and today is strategy, and there will also be conditions into that. So what do we have here? Well, we have an A, right? So now we're looking for the M, which is going to be manipulation, and what are we looking to manipulate into? This 15-minute and this 5-minute. So now this 15-minute is my condition, okay? So if we wick into it and then reject it, boom, our condition got respected, and then we go ahead and enter. So on the way down, boom, we're in the 15-minute. Fill it almost completely. I believe we came into CE of this range as well. Yeah, we hit CE of this range. And I'm not going to say that word because I botch it every time. I got dyslexia. It's like consummate encroachment or some shit. But we have our manipulation leg right here. Okay. Let me make this. Let me get rid of this 5-minute. This 5-minute is no longer needed. And then let me make this like gray or some shit. Okay, so we have our manipulation leg right here. Now what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for the distribution. How do we know the distribution is about to come? Well, we get a 1-minute inversion. So boom, I enter off the 1-minute inversion, and then look what ES is doing at this time, right? They have these highs right here, and these highs as well over here. Okay, all-time highs on ES is all the way the fuck up here, so I don't gotta worry about that. But in the past, when I've let runners run, the SMTs going against us has fucked me. So as soon as ES swept past those highs, I went break even on, what is this, on my evals. And then on top step, I actually full closed. So I full closed on top step, went break even on all my evals. As you guys can see, we ended up coming down. I get stopped out. And then what do we get again? Well, we get another 1 minute. And then I just forward tested this trade. My boy took it, and he ended up winning. But same targets, right? We have this 15-minute high right here. Then we have this hourly high, and then we have all-time highs. And this this hourly high was actually equal highs on the 15-minute chart. So what do we end up getting? Well, you could have re-entered if you got stopped out. If you went in for multiple contracts, this would have been your break-even point in TP1. If you went in with only one contract, I would have moved stops to break even after this point got hit and then target these equal highs up here. And as you guys can see, that shit just got absolutely dominated. And I believe we ended up going to all-time highs as well. Yeah, we ended up hitting all-time highs. So all 3 of those targets ended up getting hit. I was actually satisfied with my trade. I still am satisfied with it. However, I'm a little bit fucking irritated because not only did I move stops to break even on my evals, which I should have just let it ride on my evals, but, which that's fine, it's whatever. But nothing copy traded on my top steps. I only took it on one fucking account, so I made like $400 today, which I'm pretty upset about. But hey, it is what it is. We'll be back tomorrow. Not going to revenge trade, not going to do any of that, right? These targets ended up getting taken out. 2 very good trades. I would say this first trade is about like in almost an S tier. I'd say an A+ setup, and then this one is about an A-, right? Maybe if we got a resweep SMT, it would have created another S tier or A+ setup, but we ended up continuing higher. No drawdown on either of these trades. And yeah, they eventually, if you guys let the runners go from the first one, you would eventually take profit. So kind of fucked me going break even with the bearish SMT today. However, in the past, I have gotten fucked going the other way, not moving my stops to break even. So, I mean, I'm going to do that 10 out of 10 times, right? Unless if I'm truly not worried about the SMT, but it is what it is, okay? So that's the trade I took today. We went over the shorts that you could have took, that the 5-minute that I personally didn't like due to not RR reasons, but how big my stop loss was. And then the 30-second that I just missed because I don't have the 30-second. Actually, I'm about to go buy that shit right now, to be honest. But anyways, that will be all for today's video. So you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm about to drop the new beginner's blueprint. I'm going to make it literally right now. So you guys go tap in with that. If you guys don't know what conditions are, go check out the conditions video in the beginner's blueprint. Yeah, and with that being said, you guys have a great day. I will catch y'all boys tomorrow.